I feel like the scene is literally sums up the entire movie. Her fight between her true self and this character that she's supposed to be for other people.
The thing I remember when we were shooting this scene, we're actually shooting in a house that she stayed in LA with Arthur Miller. And it was always special when we're shooting in a house that she was actually in, you know.
Please come. Please come. Don't abandon me. Please.
Clearly, she's at her limit, that she can't continue anymore, and she's exhausted.
Don't abandon me.
And you realize how she needs Marilyn to keep going.
She's almost here.
Please come.
Sometimes we did not know if it was black and white or color. There was a very limited palette in her closet. It was really black, white, pink, and blue. Black in the 1950s is a strong color. It represents her desire to be taken seriously as an intellectual, as an actor.
When we shot this, it kind of felt like it was two scenes because Ana was obviously in two very different looks.
We did this changeover right there. We just stepped into another room really quick and changed her over and then popped her back in.
We started with Norma Jean. So Norma Jean, it's her everyday hair, a little bit more natural. And then the Marilyn in the mirror, I believe, was a reference photo that we were recreating, and it was the first time, I believe, I had done that style on that particular wig. So it was all done very quickly, and fingers crossed, walk away, and it looks amazing.
They're ninjas, all of them.
Yeah.
I think when we all saw Ana as Marilyn for the first time, we felt like we'd found our Marilyn. I think everyone was surprised and elated and also terrified, because then we were going to have to recreate that over and over and over again.
And Ana was so amazing and so generous with her time, and I love her so much. Thank you.
For the most part, I feel like, you know, I was being Norma. And kind of like when I needed, depending on the situation, I would just turn Marilyn on.
That girl in the mirror is not Norma Jean playing Marilyn, that's Marilyn. The rest of the time, it's always Norma Jean trying to be Marilyn.
Yeah.
Right? That actually is Marilyn.
Yeah.
The French are glad to die for love. They delight in fighting duels. But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewels.
You know, this is obviously, you know, one of the great iconic moments.
It was just so surreal to be recreating this scene. I had 2 days to learn that choreography. I was in massive high heels, and of course the steps, I mean, barely, the shoe could barely fit in each step. I remember I was watching the dailies for this scene, and I think it was take 20-something.
21.
Either I was falling or not remembering, or the wig and the prosthetics were gonna fall off, and all the little fans pointing to my head.
Yeah, one more.
The dress.
One more. It was the last one. We do use the last take.
Really?
Yeah.
It only took 21 takes to get it.
We've completely, obsessively recreated these couple of shots from Diamonds.
I remember Andrew having 2 monitors, one with the real scene and then us. And sometimes you didn't know if we were watching playback or the actual movie. It was really, really amazing. She is so expressive in this performance. She does very exaggerated moves with her lips, and so I was working with my lip syncing coach to get every expression.
I mean, it's crazy what we were doing that day. That day, I think we shot 2 musical numbers. We shot Diamonds, and we also shot
Yes.
I Want to Be Loved by You.
Yes.
We're lucky.
We're lucky.
We're lucky to have you. We're lucky you're a pro. We're lucky you're a veteran, because we had a lot to do every day.
Yeah.
Every trick is in this scene. The backup dancers, we like had a chart of all the faces that were behind her, and we were trying to find guys that look, not only guys that could dance, but guys that look the same as the guys that are behind her.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the original footage, there's very obviously grey painted streaks in their hair and
Because they're older.
theatre. Yeah, very.
Ones that can afford the diamonds.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that's recreated, of course, is the song itself.
A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
The recreation was really important to not only investigate the craft of the original costume, who was designed by William Trevia, and honor him because he's an amazing designer, but also pay attention to what worked on Ana. I think if you just kind of go through the motions absent-mindedly, then you get a costume and you don't get a living thing that actually is made for Ana. But I also think the effortlessness that you really embodied those costumes.
And if you see, she's wearing the same dress, just in white and without the bow. But they made exactly the same dress for her to wear to the premiere.
Yeah.
And then the scene where she's sitting in the audience, it's basically in color, but when all the red is coming off the screen, it changes all of the makeup. And so it was nothing you could plan for, because as soon as the lights went out, she's in her, finished look.
This is basically, casting the moment that's supposed to be triumphant. This is really her birth as a star. But what's going on for her is it's actually a scene of humiliation. She's listening to herself sing this song, and she's horrified by Marilyn.
Embarrassed
and embarrassed.
That thing up on the screen, it isn't me.
When we shot the scene in the theater, the actual scene of the movie was not playing. So, for me, I was just kind of like recreating what we did in my head, but I wasn't actually looking at the scene.
I think 3 times in the movie did we ever cut to the film within the film. Most of the time we're in the theater with the girl watching herself on the silver screen. But it's great when you actually see the movie in the theater and you're sitting in a movie theater watching Ana sitting in a movie theater watching herself on the screen. There's this kind of bizarre hall of mirrors.